Hey, there's one. Yeah, that one's a little better. There we go. There we go. How's it going? Any luck today?
Yeah, we've been here maybe 20 minutes.
Okay, gotcha. I'm gonna try for some perch.
Okay, yeah, same.
Yep. Yeah, I heard last weekend it was pretty good.
Hello.
Hello.
White perch season.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yes. We'll try here first. All right, guys, welcome back to the Water's Edge. Today I'm fishing in a new spot and I'm going to be shore fishing for perch. I'm at Beverly Triton Nature Park down in Mayo. So I've got 2 rods rigged up with bobbers and marabou jigs, and I netted a bunch of grass shrimp this morning. So I think the key in here is going to be floating grass shrimp under a bobber. I'm going to cast one out, let it sit, and then kind of work the other one, popping it along the surface. Lenny was here last weekend, caught a bunch of perch. I don't know how the fishing is going to be today. We got about 3 inches of rain yesterday, and a big cold front moved in overnight. It's about 40 degrees this morning. We're gonna start here, and then we can pop around the pond and see if we can locate some fish. Ospreys are flying around, blue herons are along the bank. The perch should be in here spawning. We'll see if these grass shrimp are gonna be the ticket. All right, like I said, I got a bucket full of grass shrimp that I scooped up this morning, and we're gonna put probably 2 or 3 on, float this under a bobber. There is a bunch of muck and goopy stuff on the bottom of this pond, so you wanna suspend your bait probably 2 feet. Any lower than that, you're gonna risk getting all that green algae and stuff on it. So we will put some grass shrimp on. Hopefully I have enough for today. We're just gonna thread them on and see where that gets us. Got a cloudy overcast. It was supposed to be real windy today, but it's not as bad as they were calling for. So we'll cast that out and let it sit. Right here looks like a good spot. We'll just keep an eye on that bobber, and I'll use my other one. Now, Lenny was using shad darts last week, and I didn't have any shad darts, but I had a bunch of these little marabou jigs. They should work just as well. The grass shrimp aren't super big this time of year, so if they were jumbos, I'd be just putting 1 on, but with how small they are, we will put a couple on and go from there. Probably 2 is what is gonna be my choice today. Thread 2 on. And while I have 1 sitting out on a bobber right there, I'm gonna cast this one out and pop it back. I'll spend about 15 minutes fishing here. If I don't get any bites, we can move around the pond and see if we can locate some fish. I'm just gonna be popping this, hopefully entice a bite. And like I mentioned, we got about 3 inches of rain yesterday. It was absolutely pouring all day and well into the night. So I don't know how that affects it. It doesn't look like the pond is up any higher. All that rain and runoff could have dropped the water temps and had the perch, acting a little bit different than they were. I know the bite here was pretty good last weekend. No telling what it's gonna be today. My other line's gonna get all wrapped up, but we are on. And it's a little perch. It's all right, I'll clear my other line, but hey, there's one. Hit the marabou jig. Question is, do I keep him for catfish bait? Because he's not very big. We'll fill the bucket with water and then go from there. Oh God, there we go. All right, let me get this other line in. That fish came from way out, so let me see if I can launch this one out. Cool, there we go. Well, that didn't take very long. First perch, it is a small one. I wouldn't say he's eater sized, but there are a lot of blue catfish out on the bay right now, and I need some fresh bait, so I might end up keeping a few of these guys to use for catfish bait, but let's see if we can get a few more. All right, it's interesting that fish hit pretty far out, and as I was retrieving, and the one that's sitting out, just sitting still, has not gotten a bite. So maybe they're gonna want a moving bait if I can just kind of pop this along. I've seen a few fish roll out there. It might be snakeheads or something. All right, so we caught 1 fish here. I'm gonna spend at least another 15-20 minutes, probably 15, trying to pluck another one out of here, and if we don't get one, we can move around, but that's a good sign. It gives me hope, at least, that there's some fish out here. Oh, there he is. All right, they're definitely sitting a little further out there. Feels like another small one. Yeah, maybe a little better. Yeah, that one's a little better. I would keep that one and eat him. Let's go. Not much bigger, but can get a better fillet off of them. Load that one up. Let's get some more grass shrimp and get back out there. It seems like I'm getting my, like when I cast and get it really far out, that's 2 times where the perch have hit it like really quickly. So I'm wondering if they're just right at the edge of casting range. We'll keep launching it out and hopefully keep pulling fish. It seems like if I can get it out there far, they're hitting it. I'm gonna reel this one in, and I do have, I think I've got like half a dozen minnows. This has not gotten hit, so I'm gonna see if maybe putting a live minnow underneath of this will get one of them to bite. All right, we'll see if maybe this minnow will get a bigger perch to hit, and we'll try and get this one out there pretty far. All right, see if that gets hit. Live minnow under a bobber. It's usually a pretty good recipe for perch. That took a little bit. I made a move about, oh, don't get in the tree, don't get in the tree. There we go, number 3. Ho, 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 ho. Number 3. It's been about 20 minutes since I've had a bite, but I made a move about 20 yards further down the shoreline. That's another small one, but like I said, I need some catfish bait. He'll go in the bucket, and we'll see if we can keep plucking a few. I'm gonna load this one up with 3. It seems like the farther out I cast, that's where I'm getting my bites at, but can only cast it so far with a ultralight rod. It's interesting because I caught that fish like right next to where my other rod was out with a bobber, but I think working the bobber and bouncing that marabou jig, that's what's enticing the bite. Because I've had my other rod sitting out, just sitting. Oh, that was a bite. Dang it. Might have swiped my bait there. If you get a hit, these grass shrimp come off pretty easily, so reel in and, yep, swiped me. And I'm sure what's happening a little bit is that there's probably schools of perch in this pond that are kind of just making their rounds. They might be sitting in one spot, but they're probably moving around. Could be a matter of just waiting them out, waiting for some fish to swim by you. If there's a school of them out there, they should hit it pretty quick. To me, it seems like there's kind of just scattered fish around. Now, there could be a school right here. I've pulled 3 fish. I haven't really seen anybody else catch anything. There are 2 guys fishing down to my right that could be catching fish. I can't really see them, but there's a bite. There we go. Feels smaller. But a fish is a fish. Another perch. Oh. There we go. I'm gonna have to move my bucket over here. If there's a school of fish, I want to get on them as quickly as I can. I've only got about an hour to fish before it gets dark, so let's see how many we can pluck out of here. So that's 2 fish out of this spot, and I missed a 3rd one. Maybe there's a little school of them out there. There he is. 3rd one out of this spot. This one feels a little better. Maybe not. He's just decided to fight hard off the bat. There we go. I will take it. Definitely small males. It'd be nice to get some bigger females, but I'll take whatever I can get at this point. All right, guys, so I've caught 5 white perch, and I don't know if it's because I moved down 20 yards or if it's just because there is a school of fish that has moved into the area, but the grass shrimp on the marabou jig and popping it definitely seems to be the technique that's working best. I'll show you guys exactly what my jig is. Just got a small 1/16 ounce marabou jig, a little bit of hair trailer, and then I'm able to thread about 3 grass shrimp on. And that seems to be working. So right there, that is a good sized grass shrimp. Not all of them are like that. I've got a lot of small ones. This time of year, it's a little bit harder to scoop big ones, but if you can thread 2 or 3 grass shrimp on, it makes your presentation a little bit bigger and can sometimes entice a bite instead of just using one. Hopefully we can pluck a few better fish out of here, but I'll take what I can get at this point. I'm paying attention. I was kind of looking off in the distance at some birds, and here we are with another perch. Probably the biggest one of the day. Yes, sir. There we go. All right, so I just figured out something, and I don't know how much of a difference it makes, but let's get this fish in the bucket. Let's get some water for the perch, and my grass shrimp could probably use some. And get some more water in my bucket. All right. Okay, so here's what I'm noticing. If the grass shrimp are dead, it doesn't seem like they're getting hit. If they're alive, it seems like they're getting hit. So what I'm gonna do to avoid them dying so quickly is I've been hooking them kind of through the middle of the body. I'm gonna go through the tail here, and they'll probably flip around and give me a little bit more movement. Also not die as quickly, because, you know, if I'm going through the middle of their body, well, that's not good for anyone, but especially not a little grass shrimp. So we're just gonna hook these guys in the tail. They'll probably kick and flip around out there, and I think that'll help me. But plucked a few here, and I think I'm probably just gonna stay here for the rest of the evening until I gotta leave. Hopefully I can get some nicer ones, but that one right there was definitely the biggest one of the day. Not a jumbo by any means. This is my first time perch fishing this year. Actually, second time. I went out to the Patuxent and I didn't catch anything. I got skunked. So this is my first time like really perch fishing and catching some. And I love perch fillets, are my favorite fish to eat. So if they're a little small, I'll keep them. And like I said, I need some catfish bait. There he is. There we go. Yeah, again, getting it out as far as you can definitely seems to help. Boom. White perch. They're smaller, but hey, I'll take them. I'll take them. I don't mind filleting some smaller fish. I love white perch, but hopefully if I stay here long enough, we can get some bigger ones. If I really start getting into them, catch a few bigger ones, I can let some of those small guys go, but don't know if that's gonna happen. All the fish I've caught have been on the small side, so I think that's what we're gonna be stuck with today. That's okay, they're still fun. Another little tip for you guys, the bobber that I'm using, this weighted bobber with a slimmer profile, I'm able to cast it a little bit more because it cuts through the air better than my rod with the circle bobber on it. So casting this out further is definitely helping me get some bites. So a little tip for you guys, if you're going to be getting some bobbers and doing any type of bank fishing where you're trying to get as far out as possible, the bobbers with the slimmer profile definitely help with that. All right, guys, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I ended with 7 perch. I think I'm gonna try and come back either tomorrow or in a couple days. We're supposed to get some warmer weather where it's gonna get up into the 60s and 70s, and I think that'll really improve the bite in here. There's obviously some perch in here, but it was slow pickings today. We had a lot of rain yesterday. It got really cold last night, only about 50 degrees today. So I think once it warms up into the 60s, 70s, the bite might turn back on. So
thank you guys for watching today's video. I wanted to get out at least once this spring and fish the salt ponds. I hit this one just a little bit early because the 2 weeks following this trip, the perch were running in here thick and a lot of people had good success catching them. But I hope you guys can take something away from today's video. I tried to cover the basics for how you can go here, fish from shore, and get on some white perch in these salt ponds when the perch spawning runs are taking place in the spring. So once again, thank you for watching today's video. Hope you enjoyed it, and make sure to tune in for the next episode of The Water's Edge.